Hey there, this is Therapy with Little Cubby, and I'm Little Cubby. It is Friday, the 30th of April, and we are going to go over Tom MacDonald's song, Wannabe. What I've noticed is that Tom, when he has a title to a song, it isn't always what you might expect. And I believe this is one of those cases. So with no further ado, let's get started reacting to Tom's video, Wannabe, in a therapeutic way. Now, just a quick little background. So this was his first video, I believe, that he ever did on YouTube. So it's in the infancy stages of his YouTube career. So in lieu of that, there's going to be some stark contrast between what he does now and what he did back then. And his thinking is a little different, probably. And I'm sure that, you know, I think he was around 24, I believe he says in the video. So I already listened to the video once. So we'll go through it and see if we can glean anything from it. You know, put yourself maybe, I don't know how old everybody is, obviously, that's listening. But, you know, if you're older, maybe you can think, okay, what was my mindset at 24 years old? And go from there. All right. Glasses. Okay, right off the rip, there is like a struggle going on here. He says, "This is my song and I'm dancing with the devil on the highway to hell in the middle of the road. This is my time to decide." So, you know, when you're young, you can make decisions that can affect your entire life, good or bad. And this is one of those times.
Devil in my mind now. Monogamy isn't the only thing I've been lying about. I'm in the belly of the beast and I'm riding around, rope in my hand. Should I hang myself or climb out?
Okay, so he's trying to make some major decisions here real quick. I mean, he says, the devil's in my mind now. Monogamy isn't the only thing I've been lying about. So that's pretty good. Good line. And then he says, right after that, he says, "I'm in the belly of the beast and I'm riding around, rope in my hand. Should I hang myself or climb out?" Major decisions, forks in the roads. You know, which way are we going to go? What are we going to do? These are all, they're definitely questions that he's having at an early age. Do it again.
Only thing I've been lying about. I'm in the belly of the beast and I'm riding around, rope in my hand. Should I hang myself or climb out? I feel like everyone around me about to make it, and I'm busy with some bitch I only fuck with when I'm faded. Let's say
Okay, so, I mean, I'm telling you, you need to take Tom MacDonald's songs. Don't watch the videos. You can watch the videos and then later on, listen just with like ear pods and don't watch the video. Or listen with just words and read it while he's singing it, and you will be like, wow, I am so connected with this guy. And I would never thought, because we have this prejudgmental idea of what people should look like that we connect with, and you know, I'm just as guilty. I have not one tattoo. Not that I really care if anybody has. My wife has 4 or 5. I can't even remember anymore. But what I'm trying to say is, we have this thing in our heads, and we think that because a person is a certain way, you know, that we can't relate to them. Yet, when a person pours out their soul and they're honest, like Tom is, then we have so much in common. And we don't even know it. So, but when you read these words and listen to these songs without being stimulated visually, you hear it better and you understand it better. And that's why I'm doing this. That's the whole reason. It's good for me, and I believe it's good for someone out there. So let's do that again. So he says that, "I feel like everyone around me about to make it, and I'm busy with some bitch I only when I'm faded. Well, he's chasing these women, obviously, and instead of putting in, the work that it takes to be what he's trying to be. He's got all these roadblocks or these forks in the road that are coming up, and he's, may have to make these decisions. And obviously, it looks like he might be making some wrong decisions at this point in his life. But as we know how it turns out, he ends up making some right decisions, and we're all, better for it just because we listen to his music and have that connection with him. So.
And I'm busy with some bitch I only fuck with when I'm faded. Let's say I'll grow to be a monster, but I am one. Why the fuck you think I've been calling myself son?
Okay, so on that line right there, he says, they say I'll grow to be a monster, but I am one. So he's already in this place. And remember, the name of the song is Wannabe. So he's already in this place, and I really don't think he wants to be there where he's at. He says, let's do Pig Latin. Faye, you think I've been calling myself Leanne's son. That's his mother, by the way. Okay, let's go on.
I've been calling myself Leanne's son. I ain't Thomas anymore. I ain't honest anymore. I don't give a shit about a broken promise anymore. I got back home from tour like a month ago, and I've been in the club getting drunk since a month ago.
Okay, so he went on tour, and he's been self-destructing in everything that he's doing, and he's singing about it, and he's telling us about it. Remember the name of the song, Wannabe. I don't think he want to be like this.
I lost the only girl I ever loved, but you knew it. Cause I said it a million times and now it's true. I swore that she would never ever come before my music. And now I see that every rapper sing the same tune.
Okay, so it's happened. What he didn't want to happen, what he did not want to happen, has happened. He's saying here, he says, I swear that she would never ever come before my music. And then he goes on to say, and now I see that every rapper sing the same tune. So all the rappers out there, or musicians in general, I would say, that are trying to make it for themselves, there's a dedication that goes beyond what the normal a guy that or a woman that works 9 to 5, there's way more dedication. It just doesn't happen overnight. It just doesn't happen in an instant. I mean, there is great stakes. There's so much money involved to get started in something like this, and there's so much. It's different. It just doesn't happen. It's not just talent. One day you're not there, and the next day you're there. There's a lot of work that's put in prior to that culmination of where we know Tom is today, and that's true for every artist. I imagine I'm not an artist, but much like a person that wants to be an accountant, they got to put in the work first to get to that point. It's the same thing with music. Probably more so. I mean, college is hard, and if it wasn't, everyone would have went. So, and music is hard, and if it wasn't, then everybody would be a musician. So, okay, so, and now I see that every rapper sings the same tune. So he's seeing that, man, I wanted to do this and I didn't do it. So I put these things before my music, and now look where I'm at. Remember the title of the song, Wannabe.
Sing the same tune. This is my song, and I'm dancing with the devil on the highway to hell in the middle of the road. This is my time to decide if I'm gonna be the better man and cover everything I own.
Okay, this is my time to decide if I'm gonna be a better man or cover everything I own in gold. This is it. This is the time. This is where he needs to make that decision. He's at that fork in the road, and every single person comes to that point in their life, this way or this way. And it's either going to be detrimental for a while, or it's going to be rewarding for a while. This is it. Now he's saying, this is not the way. This is not the way that I want to be. Okay, then there's the play on words I'm talking about. You wouldn't think you wouldn't think that a rap song named Wannabe, you would think it'd be like self-glorifying or talking about all the things, you know, the money, the women, the drugs, the fame, the accolades, and you would think that that's everything that, I don't know, to me that's what I thought the song was going to be about. But if you look what Tom's saying, he's saying, this is not the way, this is not the way, this is not the way that I want to be. There's that play on words that I mean, this guy's great. I love this guy.
Rappers in the city that been talking shit and gangsters in the city. I've been talking about it too. There's women in the city I've been fucking with on weekends when I'm out late with my friends, but I'm still in love with who hates me. I'm guilty and I'm sure it's slowly killing me. I'ma take the fault and all responsibility. Jesus in my heart now. I heard he walk with you. I bring the car around, but I don't have the time or the end.
Okay. All right, so let's go back over that again. That was I want to let that all play out right there. So he says, there's women in the city I've been effing with on weekends while I'm out late with my friends, but I'm still in love with who? Hates me. So somebody that he's in love with doesn't like him. He's out messing with other chicks. He says, I'm guilty and I'm sure it's slowly killing me. Because when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, it slowly does kill you. It takes away, and it probably causes all those problems we talked about in some of the other songs that Tom sings, like the cancer song, for example. You know, all these stresses and these things that are going on in his life, you know, he's making rash, irresponsible decisions, and they're slowly taking from him. So then he says, they're slowly killing me. And then he says, I'm going to take the fall and all responsibility. Okay, so there he comes to a point where he says, okay, I'm going to take on all the responsibility. I'm going to take the fall for, basically he's just owning up to whatever it is that he's doing that he shouldn't be doing. He says he has Jesus in his heart now. And he says, let's back it up. Okay, so here we go. I want to take the fall.
Jesus in my heart now. I heard he walk with you. I bring the car around, but I don't have the time or the energy to forget about the past or forgive myself for anything. I'm waiting for it. I just cut this whole thing.
Okay, so he says here that I heard he walked with you, talking about Jesus. I'll bring the car around. I don't have the time or the energy to forget about the past or forgive myself for anything. He's saying, I got Jesus in my heart now. And basically what he's trying to say there is with the car is he heard that they had Jesus too, so he's like, let's go on this ride together. Let's take this ride together. Whoever he's, this is for here.
I just cut this whole tape on a party tip, and now I'm like, what the fuck? When's the fucking party end? When I wanted to be good, no one else was. When I wanted to be rich, they wouldn't sell drugs. When she wanted us together, man, I guess I did it. When I needed her to find me, she went missing.
Okay, so there you got, when Tom wanted to do something that was positive, that was, at that fork in the road, the correct way, there was no one there to do it with him. They were all going the opposite direction. And when he wanted to, and then when he was trying to do the wrong thing, people were doing the right thing. It's like opposite from one another. You got to decide for yourself. Outstanding. Outstanding. it's almost like he, in this section here, it's the chorus, but he does it a little different in this one here, and he's almost like trying to talk himself into it, or maybe talk us into it. This isn't the way. This is not the way. This is not the way. He says it over and over and over. This is not the way that I want to be. This is not the way. This is not the way.
I'm 24 and I'm real enough to say if I don't make it big by 30, I'ma kill myself.
Okay. When I first heard that, okay, so people say a lot of stuff, and thanks to himself, you know, good for Tom and good for us, and I think it didn't happen, but I'm glad that he essentially made it, because when he's 24 when he made this, so this was, I don't know how old he is now, 30, 31? So let's just say it's 6 years ago. I think that's what the video says. It was done 6 years ago. He says, I'm 24 and I'm real enough to say if I don't make it big by 30, I'm gonna kill myself. He put that in a song. But he knew darn well he probably wasn't gonna kill himself. Or die trying to make it. Maybe he's trying to say that. But whatever he's saying here, he made it. And that's, you know, he put the hard work in and he made it. And that says a lot. And we can all make it. We can all do it. We just have to put the work in. Whatever it is. Anything that we need to overcome. Wrong decisions. People in our lives that maybe we listen to that we shouldn't have. It could be anything. Anything at all. We are not people that cannot overcome. We can make it. We can definitely make it. Okay.
So, I bet you think this is some super high thoughts, but I ain't made for a full-time position at a real job.
I'm gonna stop it again right there, because a lot of people aren't made for 9-to-5 jobs. Just like some people aren't made to go to college. People aren't made to go to 9-to-5. They just don't go to work every day. They just can't do it. And in lieu of that, you know, some of them just don't work and become solely dependent upon the government or what have you. But then some people, they do something that, you know, they make money different ways. And I'm not talking about illegally either. And therefore they just don't work 9-to-5 jobs. They might, you know, buy and sell a car and, you know, do something, you know, cheap to a car, fix it up, resell it, a house, resell it, whatever. It's not a 9-to-5 job. You're not punching a time clock. And not everybody's made to do that. And in this case, Tom wasn't one of those people, so I can appreciate that. And, well, we all know he's a musician. Musicians don't work 9-to-5.
I was built to fit perfect in a Maserati and to be the drunkest at the Grammy after party.
Okay, so he says, I was built to fit perfect in a Maserati and be the drunkest at the Grammy after party. So he had aspirations, obviously, for the fast cars, the women, and to win a Grammy. You know, and when he was 24, that was totally acceptable, I'm sure. But he has a different way of thinking now. We know that.
Perfect in a Maserati and to be the drunkest at the Grammy after party. I'm in this quiet gray area, no feelings. I'm in a loud gray Acura, no ceilings. I've been trying to figure out how to do it different. I broke too many hearts, I've never been religious. I'm all alone and all my friends are in the room. I don't wear wolves of fur, but I'm howling at the moonlight.
Okay, so he says a couple different things here real quick. He says, I've been trying to figure out how to do it different. I broke too many hearts, never been religious. I'm all alone and all my friends are in the room. I don't wear wolves of fur, but I'm howling at the moon. So basically, you know, being that he's just trying to figure out how to do things different. He's hurt a lot of people in his life and he wants to do it differently. And even though he's in a room full of what's called his friends, he feels alone. And man, we can all relate to that. We can all relate to that at some point in our lives. And he don't wear wolves of fur, but he's howling at the moon. You ever heard a wolf howl at the moon? It's Pretty crazy. So he's howling. He's out there. He's putting it out there. Okay.
Wolves of fur, but I'm howling at the moon loud. I just don't know what to do now. I should move on, well, there's no house to move out. Too many wannabes are living in my neighborhood, and I refuse to let them call me neighbors because I'm really good.
Okay, so he sees things, wherever he's living at right here in this scenario, he sees things differently. There's too many wannabes are living in my neighborhood, and there's that wannabe again. There's too many wannabes are living in my neighborhood, and I refuse to let them call me neighbors because I'm really good. He has that heart. He has that in him to be good. He has it in him, and he knows it. One of his other songs, he talks about, I think it's Angels. He talks about how he grew up, and he had a lot of good things in his life. So, and he had great parents and good friends. I believe he said tight friends. But in this situation here, he's trying to say there's too many wannabes are living in my neighborhood. They're surrounding me. It might not even be in the physical neighborhood. It'd just be maybe the people that are, that have befriended him. There are too many wannabes, and I refuse to let them call me neighbors because I'm really good. And obviously, it's sounding like they might not be. So.
This is my song, and dance with the devil on the highway. This is my time to decide if I'm gonna be better than another. Everything I own knows. This is not the way. This is not the way. This is not the way that I wanna be.
All right, so that's Tom MacDonald's Wannabe. And I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't, like and subscribe to Tom's page, please do. He has a lot more songs, and check him out. I'm Little Cubby, and this is Therapy with Little Cubby. And if you want to like and subscribe to my page as well, that'd be great. And if you have any questions you want to ask me down in the comments, please go right ahead. If you see something in here that's I saw a little, you saw a little differently than I'd love to chat about it. And with that, I'll just say have a good weekend. Thank you.